Mr. President has directed the Ministry of Works to have this project completed by all means, not at all cost, by all means before the end of this year. And so it is a marching order by Mr. President, and that marching order supersedes the position of Berger. Berger, in their writing, told us that they cannot complete this project this year. Yesterday, the Federal Executive Council frowned at the length that contractors stay on site to complete a project. As a Minister for Works, I took very serious note of that. Second one is that this Ministry of Works will not be dictated for by any contractor. We will not allow a contractor to dictate for us. If this marriage fails, I want to recount that we'll be having a very, troubling marriage with Berger since September 2023. And we'll be virtually negotiating a lot of projects being done by Berger. And let me tell Bonny Kingdom, we cannot isolate you more than the much we have isolated you, because how important you are, just like every other section of this country, is important, because a chain is as strong as the weakest link. We are having a problem with Berger in Lagos, Ibadan. We are having a problem with Berger in accepting our position in Second Niger Bridge. We are having a problem with Berger in completion of Abuja Kano. We are having a problem with Berger in Cross River, Bodo-Bonny. And I've directed the PAN Secretary, instead of that route should embarrass this administration again, he must, effective from the 16th of this month, isolate 3 kilometers within the section of Berger left site and begin to dig it up to 1 meter, fill it with lumps, sharp sands, and a stone base, so that our administration is not again embarrassed. We were badly embarrassed last year under the nose of Berger while they were even on site. Trucks were falling down, and the Senate President was calling, and the whole thing was all through the internet. This is not acceptable, for our people. A reputable company must put the interests of the country and the people first. And in a relationship, sometimes you make a lot of gains. Sometimes you have to also plunge back to the system in appreciation of the relationship. That is the way it is. It is very wrong for a company to continue to insist to have, her ways. This relationship must be determined today, whether to be or not to be. And I want us to know that we have once given Berger 7 days notice in line with the law and the contract agreement. Go back to site, or we give you 14 days notice of termination. They did not go back to site. We issued 14 days notice of termination. The 14 days elapsed, they did not go back to site. We called for the meeting of LONG and the stakeholders of Bonny Kingdom. You came here and you bent us backwards to increase the the project from 199. We made further concession of 13.6 billion. And yet, Berger did not accept to go back to site. Yet we called you again, and we made further concession of a total of 20.5 billion. And you were pretty sure that Berger would go to site. As it stands today, this our commitment is well beyond our limit in Ministry of Works. I'm only Chief Executive of Ministry of Works. I'm an appointee. I'm an errand boy. And so when things go beyond my limits, it must be referred. But it's not me that will refer it. It is the stakeholders if they want. But I'm giving Berger 7 days to go back to site, not 4 weeks, 7 days. If they don't go back to site after 7 days, that project will be terminated. I'll be very courageous to terminate it and I will put my reputation and my professional ethics online to have that project completed within this year and completed it better than the standard of Berger. Engineering is engineering, and nobody can intimidate us. This is very important. And so the romance should end, because Berger, as our contractor, is more or less into politics, going from one place to the other, meeting stakeholders, and our people are suffering. And let me tell the Bonny Kingdom, if you don't like my decision, I give you the opportunity to appeal to Mr. President. He's my boss. If I give Berger beyond this, it will destroy Ministry of Works, because you cannot isolate a project and then, overprice it. We have the coastal road that we approved yesterday, in fact, and this coastal road has 18 bridges and flyovers and 10 pedestrian bridges, and it has a more challenging terrain more than that of the Bodo-Bonny. And so we cannot commit that Berger should go back to site and then we look into their conditions. Conditions are CPI, Consumer Price Index, which means that, they say we have to fix the dollar at 1,200. If the dollar is going beyond 1,200, we have to pay the differential. That is an abuse of the law of this country. The contract is in Naira, and we cannot succumb to that. They said VOP, that we have to put more money in VOP, variation on price. That is not acceptable to us. They said they will not finish this job by December. That is not acceptable to us. They said that there are quantities not yet discovered, and they may increase quantities. Not acceptable to us. We have offered this project, in conclusion, for a total of 207.886 billion naira, and that is completion, sum, including VAT and all taxes are involved. And so it's given and should be taken as given. Berger cannot even come here and say that the peace committee appealed to them, and they have to go back to their management. Who is the one suffering? The entire country is suffering. And we have to bring that suffering to an end. And I want to say that only my boss, Mr. President, will direct me to do another meeting. Otherwise, after 7 days, it's important. But I must be courageously do the right thing. When I was a governor, I told my commissioners, if you have nothing doing, spoil something and make sure you are doing something. So I have to do this, and I put my perfection and my position online to complete that project and prove that engineering is engineering, and that we have the same brain and went to the same school. So this is the position of Ministry of Works, and there is no further negotiation. You have to do a letter to PAM Secretary to direct legal services to inform the Honorable Attorney General. And this is the position, and inform all the stakeholders, PAM Secretary, inform LNG, inform Bonny Kingdom. 7 days from today, if Berger does not go back to site and start work, the job will be terminated.